Okay, today we have my Dwarf Honeysuckle. We're going to repot it into one of these pots today, as it probably could use a repotting. It's been there a couple years. I want to work on the roots a little bit. It's in really good health. Just want to say about my setup. Hopefully we'll have a better, the audio will be better. Ever since I bought the little shotgun mic that goes on top of my, mounted on top of my camera and hooked up to it, opposed to the little wired lapel mic I had. I know sometimes I had trouble with the audio because it's the microphone was on top of the camera, and I tend to like to work with the videos from the side. So if I didn't remember to keep my face that way, or I was working on something, I know it was hard to hear sometimes, and I was trying to fix the audio as I could. But it should be good now because it'll be off. I got a longer cord and a cheap tripod to put the microphone on, and it's off to that side of me now. So I should be almost always facing it, so it'll help with the quality. And I've been trying to get better quality also by using some filters in when I'm editing to, help, get rid of some of the back, like the wind noise. I mean, wind today shouldn't be too much trouble. It's just a light breeze out today. Maybe a little gust will come, but certain days I just, unless I don't do videos. Some days are just too windy without whatchamacallit to make a good video, but I can get a lot of that wind noise out now that I know how to do it. So that I think that's been helping my sound quality, and I'm trying to make things better as I go along. I think I've gotten a lot better at making my videos in the last 3 years than almost 3 years now. It'll be what, June? I think June. Yeah, next month will be my 3-year anniversary. This will be what, 102nd video. So we'll get on to this. Okay, here are the two pots. They are pretty much identical. They're handmade pots. They are thrown, as you can see. They would be thrown on a pot. He throws them. The guy I get them off. Most of his pots that he makes are round pots. He does do some other ones that aren't thrown. I mean, of course, if they're thrown pots, they're going to be round. You can't throw a pot on the wheel without it being pretty much round, or you do it round and then you deform it a little bit, but it'd still be a general round thing for most of the base and stuff. You could just manipulate a little bit. He does sell a few rectangular ones and sometimes oval ones, but majority of his stuff is round, which a lot of stuff I kind of like. I'm kind of liking round pots a little more. Trying to make my trees a little more some of my trees, not all of them. I don't want to completely go to round pots, but I've been using more round pots lately, and sometimes doing that with the thought of trying to make a tree that's got multiple sides, so you could present it different ways at different times. I am opting, which one was I opting for? They're both fairly similar. This one's a little darker than this one, and this one is showing some undercolor a little better than this one. This one, I'm not even sure this one has another color in it. I'm thinking, because as you can see, the material of them slightly different. They're stoneware, but it's a slightly different thing of stoneware. This one's a little darker. This one's lighter. But I don't even think this one, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking, nah, this one actually does. It probably does. It looks like they have like a double layer of glaze on them. But I'm thinking with this one, the lighter one work better. And this one I'm thinking of putting my cascading Chinese elm in. So this one, that's overall a little more lighter and it's got that more yellow coming out. I think it goes with the tree better. If you're ever interested in his pots, I have a few of his pots. This would be, the last time I bought pots a few weeks back, I bought 4 pots. One for my sky flower, which is a blue one. I've been looking for a nice blue pot for that because I really just fell in love with the way it looked with that plastic blue pot. So when I found a pot for it, I showed it a little bit in the other video. I have a Golden Gate ficus that I'm going to actually plant in another one that I got. It's green and shallow and about 9 inches wide. Also a beautiful pot. But he does really nice pots, I think. Decent, I think for handmade pottery, I mean, they are, you know, good pricing. I mean, I think these were each, can't remember, these were like in the 20s. The 9-inch one was probably something like 70, I think. This would be US dollars. And what's the other one was like in the 30s, which honestly, you look in pots, that ain't a bad price. These are really nice pots. I mean, if you hear, they all have nice rings, which is usually a good sign of good pottery. They're made of stoneware, so they will be a lot less likely to crack. You know, there's no, you can't find, you're not going to really find clay pots that are completely crack resistant or break resistant from winter, but the stoneware will do pretty good. And then here's the tree. Sadly, recently something broke. I don't know if maybe it broke in the rainstorm we had the other day. It might have just been a combination of all the rain pouring down. It was windy a couple days ago, so it might have been that. It broke. Can't do much about it. I found this back spuds quite easily, this Dwarf Honeysuckle, so I'm not worried about that. We'll clean that up when we're working on it. I've had this wire on month and a half, 2 months, I think. Here it is. I'm going to take it out in a minute. I just took the wire off real quick. I didn't think anybody really wanted to see the wire being taken off. I'm going to do just a little trimming of this. I like to do the trimming beforehand most of the time, because once you get it into the pot and then you disturb your planting, you know, it's in here tightly now, so I find it's better just to, if you're gonna do any trimming when you prune, because usually I typically don't do a lot of styling when I repot. I don't worry about the styling so much. I usually worry about repotting, working the roots, getting it repotted in the position, and then I can worry about styling after I have everything styled and it recovers a little bit. All I want to do here is I just want to cut some stuff back. Like this is getting long. Just cut that back. This is getting long and into the inside, so I'm going to cut it back to these two leaves facing this way. Just to kind of rein stuff in a little bit. We have some stuff up here. I think I'm going to make a decision here. I think I'm going to remove this one on this side and give this one some more room. We're going to move this leaf on this side, and then some of these. Just going to clean some stuff up. I'm going to clean where I cut the last time up in some of those crotches. then I'm just taking off some of these leaves. Seeing we're doing a repotting, we don't really need all the leaves anyways, but I'm just kind of removing leaves in places I don't want them, like really close to the base of a branch. It doesn't look, if you look at you look at trees in nature, that doesn't look so natural. Typically the branching in mature branches, there isn't much towards the base. So if you don't need anything there, chop it off. Really. And that's just what I'm doing. I'm just cleaning some stuff up. Again, like I said, not worrying hugely. Now here, I left 3 branches here. Oh, okay, this one's way back here. I see. Well, this one's kind of growing up anyway, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. Clean it up a little. And also some of these leaves that I'm removing, they're just really old leaves that have been on here. This did not lose its leaves over the winter. And from what I read on these, they typically don't, in warmer climates down in the south, they don't typically lose their leaves in the winter. They will, the dwarf variety will lose them sometimes in slightly warmer climates. Like I'm pretty much as north as these seem to go by the USDA hardiness scale. Zone 6 is their limit in the ground. That's why I keep mine inside, because it seems like it could do just fine inside. And so I question if really cold weather it might get killed, just because it's, you know, if it's hardy to your thing in the ground and you're the highest north it can go, sometimes it's best to be a little cautious with them, you know, more extra protection. And like I said, this thing I know from what I read, depending on where it is, will keep its leaves in the winter and do just fine. So I just erring on that cautious side until I find more information on that. So okay, I'm just cutting some stuff back here. Where we don't need to leave, where I can cut back stuff. Like, again, these leaves are not needed. These 2 leaves are on the side of where 2 new branches came out. They were the leaves, and then the bud came out, and now the 2 branches are forming. So don't need those any. Don't really need those anymore once they do. Okay, let me get my other. I got my concave cutters, and we'll clean this up where this branch broke off. If I had a better cut, I would be tempted to maybe try some raffia, wrap it up, and if it was bigger, this is kind of small, so it would be hard to wrap up. But I have had success with broken branches that are still attached. You can see this is still attached, and the leaves really haven't, they're a little dried out, so they're not getting as much water as they could, but you may be able to survive something like that. If it was thick enough, then you could wrap it. So yeah, I think that's all we're gonna do. I'm actually going to probably, when I take this out before I put it in the thing, I'm going to probably try to put, most of the wiring seemed to have held, but it was time to take it out because I do have some places where it was starting to dig in. So I usually err on caution, take it off, rewire. I really try to stay away from wire marks. I would rather wire over and over and over and over again to eventually get what I want than to put a wire mark in, because wire marks are hard to get out. But I can see a little bit of wire mark up here where the wire was. But this, I would still like a little more of a bend in this. Bring this over and then maybe also bend this back over just a little more. But I'll do it after I get it out of the pot stuff. It'll be easier just to wire up that way. Okay, this ain't coming out easy, so let's keep that mark again. See if I can. There we go. I've got plenty of some rocks in the bottom. This is very wet in the bottom of the pot where the rocks are. The soil ain't bad. It's been almost 2 days since it rained. It rained, this is Saturday, it rained Thursday into Friday morning, so let's start. And as you can see, a lot of these roots, we don't need all those roots, and a lot of these roots will come off to fit it in the pot. So let me just dunk this in some water. I'll rinse it a little bit. Doesn't need much rinse. I'm just putting it in water mainly to keep the roots wet. Let's. This root's a little too high for what I got. I got a good base here coming down on this one and this one. And I mean, this side will need some work, but we're good. I'm gonna cut. Got some stuff there. Clean that up a little bit. Yeah, that soil may have been keeping them too wet lately. I don't know. The roots look kind of alright, but some of them kind of look, yeah, there is some rot. So that it needs to be repotted. So that soil's holding a little bit of moisture. Let's see what we got under here. Get some of these ones underneath here out. They're just growing down. I think I'm going to cut this here. Sorry if I think I might have been holding that up too high. We're going to cut that there and let this grow out this side. I don't think... We're going to clean some of this stuff up underneath still. We got a little shoot on here I don't need. Just gonna rub that off. So this is another one that's above this big one that works better, so pull that out. Okay. Let's get my scissors for the rest here. Still got some stuff underneath here we don't need. These could all be, I think these almost all could be. Well, this is growing back into the other stuff. That probably can be kept. Just cut it back. Yeah. Yeah, this stuff can all be redirected. This can go, that's going up anyways. Cut this stuff back here. This is kind of going up, so I will cut this off. I got a little root growing up here, so I'll cut that off there. We'll just trim some of this stuff back a little bit. I don't need them that long. And that should be a good little root system on that. Now, I will dip it again, just to help keep those roots wet. Let's get that out of there. I will get a piece of water. And we're gonna wire this trunk. I'm still thinking of using, I had been using this side as the front because this back side has this weird, has this odd, like channel in the back of the thing. It's starting to heal up down here better, so maybe if I leave it, maybe I can eventually use this as the front. I kind of like this as the front better, and then bring this stuff a little bit towards you. I'd been using this as a side part of that, and then the whole tree comes up, but we'll see. I'm not worried about the front right this second. As one, it's going into a round pot. It's not as oh shoot, no, go this way. As it's going in a round pot, it's not critical. As critical. Yes, you would like to have if you're having a certain thing at the front, you would like to use the best side of the pot, but this tree's got a lot of time in it, left in it, so it will. So we are going to put some more bend in that a little bit. As you can see, I put a little bend in that, and then we're going to bring this a little back, and then bring this down. Okay. I unbent. Yeah, and I like that. Subtle, a little bit of more movement. Because this was pretty straight, this is pretty straight, so a little bit of movement does not hurt in there. And it had held some of it, so it should hold. Yeah, here's the pot I want. Put a little piece of mesh in the bottom. I don't really see an easy way to. I think I'm going to keep this. We're going to bury it a little further than we want it, as you do a lot of times when it's whatchamacallit. So it's developing. Probably about where it was buried before. We'll bury it again, and then we can rise it up later as we repot. So let me get my soil, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're trying a slightly different mixture of soil this year. I have some of my trees in a mixture with turfus. I don't like it. I had to source, it was hard to source. I put lava rock in with it. It was hard to source the lava rock to a better size with the turfus, which I don't like. I don't like the size of the turfus. I think the size, and that will make a difference. If the particles are smaller, it will tend to hold more water. And for everything I want, so far, some of my trees will do fine in it that will need more moisture, but for the most part, I'm not liking what I've repotted this spring in that. So I went back to this, it's like turfus. It's a calcite clay. I don't know what kind of, it's obviously different because it looks different, but I pay more for it, but I don't have to sift any of it. All of it's good that I buy. With the turfus, I lost almost 60%. It is way too fine to use. And then I had to go through 50 pounds of it to sift. For me, it's not worth it. I'm not saving a huge amount by going turfus when it comes down to I have to sift it. And it's too small and it's not what I want. So I went back to the stuff I had, but I also am using the same amount. What did I buy? I bought 2 3.5 gallon bags of stuff from the people. One was the calcite clay, and the other was lava, and I mixed those two together with, I want to say about, what is it? I think, I'm not sure. I want to say the bag of poultry grits, which is just granite, crushed granite. I get from the tractor supply store thing, tractor supply company, in a bag. I want to say it's like a 5-pound bag, 8-pound bag, somewhere in there. I think, I don't know. I used half of that in there. So I would say that came out to probably about an 40-40-20 of that stuff. And then I bought a big bag of mulch. I don't know if it was hard or pine, but I bought a big thing of mulch at the store, and I sifted it for all the fine stuff, which is, I think, is pretty good. I was going to use the mulch conditioner, which is pretty much a lot similar. I mean, the bags I'm getting are moist bags. They're starting to rot down, and then all the waste from that can go just into the garden beds as mulch, the bigger pieces. So it's not really a big deal. It's like, I think $3 and something for a big bag of that, and I only put. Then I take that and I do a scoop. I think, what did I do? 6 scoops of the inorganic to 1 scoop of the organic, was roughly what I did. So it was like a 6 to 1. And that's how I ended up getting my bonsai mix. So, so far, liking it a little better than the old mix I had that was more just, it was the calcite clay and some pine chips that I got from the same place I got the thing online. For some trees that was holding too much moisture, like these, for indoor ones, I think they're holding too much moisture. I tend to go on the side of being a little drier than wetter. I like a mixture that's a little on the drier side. just because I like that for the winter. I find I run into too many troubles where stuff stays too wet, whether it's indoors or outdoors. I do put some stuff that needs more moisture. I will put in more the organic or something else just to help add some moisture, but so not everything is exactly the same, but it's pretty much the same for everything, more or less. So put some of this in here. That I will. Let's see. I'm gonna. I'm gonna find the what I'm gonna look at the pot at least. So that's a good sign, and that's good. Yeah. I'm gonna pot it this way. Those two sides look pretty good. I'm gonna pot it in favor of this side as the front. I think. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that looks about. I'm gonna put a little more of this in here. Let's put a little more of that in there. And we'll get my. A little more on this back side where there's not as good a roots. They're smaller and they need to be propped up more. I'm going to put them over here so I can prop them up a little better. And get those roots laid out like I want them. And dump that stuff in and work. Okay, the length of the video died, but it died right as it was done, so no big deal. Here it is, done. I think it looks nice in that pot. We need development. We need more stuff around, but I think it's doing pretty good right now. So, rotate it around for you. And even seeing this will still make that makes a nice front too, I think. Okay, so if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, the bell, comment, and I will see you next time.